Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, we will present our discussion about critical reading by using 7 strategies in the article. So, before we start our presentation, let us introduce our group members. Start with me. My name is Sutci Kasmawati with student ID number is 322110003.
My name is Dayang Sri Suryani Eka Putri with the student number ID 322110018.
Hello, my name is kurniasih Agustin with NIM 322110004.
My name is Seni Mahdalena and my student number ID is 322110015.
My name is Endah widyanti with student number ID 322110051.
Okay, we use the article from International Journal of Research in English Education. The title of the article is The Impact of Motivation on English Language Learning. The author's name is Mitra Alizadeh 2016. There are 7 headings. First, introduction. Second, definition of motivation. Third, different types of motivation. Fourth, previous studies about the role of motivation in language learning. Fifth, condition of motivation. 6. Key factors of motivation. 7. Conclusion. Next, subheadings. 6.1 Positive attitude towards second language community. Next, 6.2 The enjoyment of learning. And next, 6.3 External pressures.
Okay, so here I will read the abstract of the article, The Impact of Motivation on English Language Learning. So the abstract is, motivation is an important factor for explaining the success or failure of any complex text. Motivation has a very important role in learning English as a foreign or second language successfully. This study reviews literature on the role of motivation in language learning and describes different types of motivation. Next is introduction will be explained by Kurniasih Agustin.
Okay, I will continue to explain about introduction. Motivation is a key factor for explaining the success in failure of any difficult activity. It is easy in the second language learning to state that a learner will be successful with the right motivation. What does it mean to say someone is motivated? How do we create, promote, and preserve motivation? The success of any action is dependent of extent to which person try to get their goal, and along with their desire to do so, motivation is an important factor in specifying the readiness of learner to communicate. Fortunately, there is now a lot of research literature available on the role of motivation in language learning. Motivation refers to the combination of attempt plus desire to obtain the objective of learning the language plus desirable attitudes toward learning the language. Motivation to learn a second language refers to the extent to which the individual works or tries to learn the language because of a desire to do so and the contentment experienced in this task. Effort alone does not indicate motivation. The motivated person spends effort towards the aim, but the person expending effort is not inevitably motivated. By Gardner, 1985. Motivation provides learner with an aim and direction to follow. Therefore, it has a key role in language learning. Due to the lack of enough motivation, some difficulties may happen for learners. Without desire to learn, it is very difficult for learners to gain effective learning. As with 2001 state that paying attention to the importance of language will help learners improve their motivation to learn even if they do not have enough intrinsic motivation. It can be said that teachers should be aware of significance of motivation in learners' language learning and through some change they can help learners increase their motivation. Bentar, ulang. Okay, for the next material will be explained by Seni Mahdalena.
And next, I will continue explanation about the conclusion. And the conclusion of the article is motivation is an important factor in learning a foreign language, which is influenced by different variables. Teachers can play a significant role in motivating learners to the learning of a second or foreign language. Learners' motivation can go up and down depending on the text of language learning. And the interesting thing in the article is, according to D12, 20 and 12, learners were highly motivated with positive attitudes towards learning English. They were both instrumentally and integratively motivated. A strong reason for having a positive attitude towards learning English is that we are the only people who can control our thoughts and emotions. Thought will determine our attitudes and steps in learning. However, the problem that arises is that there are usually negative thoughts and feelings that erode our enthusiasm. And for the next material will be explained by Endah Widyanti.
So for the next, I will explain about the confusing things in the article. In our discussion, there are two things makes us confused in the article. The first thing, in the article doesn't explain about the benefit or the advantages of the motivation. And number second, in the article doesn't explain about how to build a motivation in the English language learning. And next, I will explain about the summary of the article. The title of the article, The Impact of Motivation on English Language Learning. Motivation is an important part of mastering a second or foreign language. It is easy in the second language learning to state that a learner will be successful with the right motivation. What does it mean to say that someone is motivated? How do we create, promote, and persevere motivation? Fortunately, there is now a lot of research literature available on the role of motivation in language learning. Motivation is an important factor in specifying the readiness of learners to communicate. Motivation refers to the combination of attempt plus desire to obtain the objective of learning the language. Without desire to learn, it is very difficult for learners to gain effective learning. Teachers should be aware of significance of motivation in learners' language learning. Motivation is the desire to gain an objective combined with the energy to work towards the objective. According to Garner, 1985, motivation is the combination of attempt plus desire to obtain the aim of learning the language. Broussard and Garrison, 2004, define motivation as the attribute that move us to do or not to do something. There are two basic types of motivation, integrative and instrumental. Integrative motivation refers to language learning for personal growth and cultural enrichment. Dornier, 1988, expressed that a motivation construct involves both instrumental and integrative motivation. It is impossible to attribute language learning success to certain integrative or instrumental causes. Integrative motivation describes learners who want to integrate themselves into the culture of a second language group. Extrinsic motivation is aimed at
bragging about certain internally rewarding consequence like feeling or competence and self-determination. Some learners in some contexts are more successful in learning a language if they are integrative oriented. Students are motivated to learn when they think of themselves as competent person, deal with material arranged to their level, see goals in their activities, and are given difficult work. Motivation to learn at depend on the attitude toward the L2 community and the desire to become a member of the community. Intrinsically motivated learners are more likely to continue their studies, and those who participate in the activity for the pleasure of learning. There should be some sort of enjoyment while learning in the order to motivate to continue studying the L2. Okay, maybe that's all my explanation.